My name is Bert, and this is the Still Life Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Still Life Podcast. As always, I am your host, Bert. It is Monday. It's been a weekend. Got some rain last night, and it is nice and cool. Stayed in the 70s today. So a little bit of relief from the heat, which has been fantastic. So we're off to a brand new week, still on the job hunt. Had some phone calls today. Hopefully I'll have some interviews coming up in the next few days. But even bigger news on tomorrow's episode. Longtime chief and legendary fullback Tony Richardson will be joining me on the podcast. So I'm excited to have him along for the journey tomorrow as my first guest. So tomorrow's going to be a big day, big episode for us. Gosh, what's going on? Father's Day was yesterday. So to all you dads out there, hope you all had a good Father's Day. I did. I had all three of my kiddos, and it was a good day just to be able to spend some time with them and kind of relax and hang out and just enjoy each other's company. So it was a good Father's Day for me. What else is going on? I had the college conversation with a friend of mine this morning, and I've kind of aired my grievances with the current state of affairs as far as our college education system goes. And I, of course, am looking to return to college myself to get a bachelor's in marketing. So, as I navigate through these waters and my own frustrations, I also kind of have to suck it up a little bit because getting a job is just going to be easier with a degree. Unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, it's just this weird place that, what's crazy is that you see all these entry-level jobs that require a bachelor's degree. And it's like, entry-level jobs were never meant for someone with a college degree. Entry-level jobs were meant for those that didn't have a college degree. That's how it was for the longest time, but up until the last few years, it's been, this is an entry-level position, but a college degree is required. And that's not right. And then you're wanting to pay these people $10 to $12 an hour when a lot of them have amassed a debt of $50,000 to $100,000 or more for 4 years of college education, which is a bit ridiculous. The system is, seemingly designed to keep people in debt, rather than actually enhancing the quality of life or furthering their education. Rather, it's indoctrinating them with opinions versus facts. So, it's just a bizarre time, really, to be in the position that I'm in, and I've got over 25 years in the workforce. I'm not right around 25. I started working when I was 15. So I guess 24 years in the workforce. But in that time, I've amassed a considerable amount of skills and abilities and experience. And, the unfortunate thing is I'm probably going to have to take some classes in college that I could probably teach based on my real world experiences, stuff that, you're not going to find in any textbook. So is it frustrating? 100%. Am I going to do it anyway? Yes, because it's a necessary evil for me at this point in my life. So, it's frustrating, but the school that I'm looking at, I will actually have the ability to test out of, I believe, up to 19 different essentially basic college courses because of the amount of work experience that I have, which could make my 4-year degree, a 2.5-year bachelor's, which would be freaking fantastic because it would cut my tuition essentially in half. And of course, I don't want to take any classes that I don't want to take. I want to study what I need to get my degree. And I really just want to cut out all the BS because, it's BS. So, again, not a fan, but I got to suck it up and play the game if I want to get a decent job, apparently, because experience alone, for whatever reason, as nonsensical as it may be, isn't enough. So, whatever. It is what it is. In addition to that, I'm still not very hydrated. I have not been drinking enough water. and still trying, but I mean, it's tough. It's just I hate drinking water. It's that simple. So I got to figure something out. What else? I had something else I was going to talk about, and I don't remember. So we're going to talk about my dehydration again some more. Yeah, I'm drinking the first quart of water that I've had all day. This is the first water. I've had coffee today. I've had plenty of coffee today. I had a beer with my lunch, so that was cool. But this is the first time I'm actually drinking water, like water. So there's that. And I'm realizing as I talk, I'm like super thirsty. Allergies are bugging me. You know, I'm not gonna say they're getting better or worse. They're just there. They exist and they suck. So, you know, it's almost like the cold without all the other symptoms, just the massive amounts of congestion and blowing my nose constantly. So, fun times. Man, I really forgot what I was going to talk about, and that sucks because it was going to be good, but it's gone. So, I'll just have to save it. Man, yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode is going to be good. I'm excited to have Tony on. Tony's a friend, and you know, he's agreed to be my guinea pig for, you know, my first kind of guest episode. So I'm excited to have him on the show, excited to get to have a conversation with him, and for you all to be able to experience it, because I think we're going to talk about some cool stuff. You know, it's, you know, we're just going to talk and see where things go. So it will most likely be a longer episode. I'm not going to restrict it to that kind of 10-minute or less window, just because I want to have a conversation, and I'm just going to kind of naturally, you know, let it flow. Now, I'm going to do everything I can to not make it like a Joe Rogan style where it's going to be like 4 hours long, because ain't nobody got time for that. I do love Joe Rogan's podcast. The dude is just fascinating. But again, I'm not built to talk like that for 4 hours. So, you know, and we're not going to be smoking weed either. So there's that. But yeah, anyway, so looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a new experience for all of us. I think except for Tony, because he's been on podcasts before. So it'll be my first time having a guest on, and you know, it's going to be a growing process. There'll probably be some awkward pauses, or, you know, potentially some awkward conversation. Tony and I are friends, you know, there's nothing really off limits with the two of us. So I'm just excited for that. But yeah, I can't remember what else I was going to say. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. So I want to thank you guys, as always, for joining me today on the Still Life Podcast. And as always, for questions, comments, topic ideas, suggestions, or to become a sponsor of the Still Life Podcast, you can reach us, thestilllifepodcast@gmail.com. That's the Still Life Podcast @gmail.com. Also, make sure to check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Still Life Podcast, and our YouTube channel, The Still Life Podcast. Thanks again for joining me today on the Still Life Podcast. We'll talk again soon.